tell you
You know Ace would be a better general manager than
I don't know why they
Atkins?
didn't fire Ace. That would have been a good move. Effective immediately, we are now looking for a new mascot. We blame injuries, not getting showy, and Ace's performance for our abysmal season. That might happen yet, right? Ace and Ace Jr.
Ace
fired.
and Ace Jr. gone.
Ernie and Bert will now be taking over.
This is the 10 Minutes with Andrew podcast.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best.
Welcome back to 10 Minutes with Andrew. I am, of course, Andrew, and I'm again joined with
Marky Tropicana.
Mark Chansey.
Okay.
Mark Chansey.
How are you today, my son?
Good.
That's wonderful. Played 18 holes yesterday.
We did.
How'd you play?
Good.
You played all right.
Yeah.
Best shot was saved for when the girls were going by, but we won't talk about that.
No, we will not.
Okay. You're a good man under pressure, I've learned. When
Not
the
really.
pressure's on, he delivers.
Not really.
No?
No.
Okay. So, what else is happening?
Not much.
We had a time for today, but we canceled it because it's a bit of pressure to try to get all this done and get to the course by 12:30.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens a little later on. The tee sheet's pretty open, especially on the north. But it's also a high today of 12 with northeasterly winds, so that's going to feel like about 6,
Yeah.
I would think. Not good.
Not good.
So I have a question for you.
What?
That was Green Day.
It was great.
We're at another turning point, another fork in the road. What are we doing today, my son? Speaking
We're
of
reading
turning
some
points,
tweets.
and we're doing what?
Reading some tweets.
Reading some tweets. I got music for that. That's the music.
There, that's it.
We're reading some tweets. This is going to be a really positive show, isn't it?
No.
We're going to read tweets about the baseball playoffs and how things are going.
Nope.
We're going to read tweets about the new hockey season. About
We're going to read tweets about the Blue Jays and their post end of season media availability that they held.
Oh, yes. Ernie and Bert did get together.
Yes,
and
they did.
They had their end of season media availability, also known as Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins.
Yep.
Or I call it the Ernie and Bert show. So we're going to read some tweets, I would say, probably from some really excited fans who, after that press conference, had a whole lot of hope and for the future. Is that what you're telling me?
No.
No.
I got all these tweets, by the way, from a Yahoo Sports article, and the headline of the article was, "Frustrated fans torch Blue Jays brass and Mark Shapiro over decision to keep GM Ross Atkins."
Yeah, and I would torch Ed Rogers for decision to keep Mark Shapiro.
Yeah.
But
So in case you didn't know, the Blue Jays are keeping Ross Atkins for another year.
well, let's look at what they've done, right?
Yeah.
Schneid's is there.
He's there.
Donnie's still there.
Schneid's and Donnie.
Yeah, so last year they put Mattingly in as the offensive coordinator.
Not now.
And they put Guillermo Martinez,
who has now been fired,
underneath him as the hitting coach.
Yep.
So now at the end of the season, which was the Blue Jays' worst in a long time, they fired the hitting coach.
They fired Guillermo.
And they fired the assistant pitching coach, which is basically the guy that picks up the phone when Pete Walker calls down to the bullpen.
Yeah.
So they fired him. They fired another guy that nobody knows what he did, like the assistant bullpen catcher or something. They cleaned house,
fired
boy.
a field coordinator and
The field coordinator.
and it seems like
they cleaned house.
and it seems like, and I don't know where I heard this, but it seems like Matt Haig, the mysterious Matt Haig, may become new hitting coach. So
Why not?
why not? You know,
Something's working.
He's been
internally.
incredible. He's been incredible.
They did say during the media availability they were going to work on some internal. What was it?
Internal what?
Not improvements. They use a different term for it this time. They had to search for some internal. I'll think about it. Starts with an S. Not opportunities. Internal. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, they think they have a lot of opportunities internally to improve, just like they did last year. Now, before you read the tweets, I watched about 26 seconds of it.
I didn't watch any of it, really.
Because it opened with Mark Shapiro, the president, talking about how he had so many sleepless nights.
Yeah, I should have had that.
Thinking about how upset and how he let the Jays fans down.
Yeah, it was like I lay awake at night knowing how we let our fans down.
It's a total load of malarkey. I have sleepless nights every night now knowing that you're the president, but that's a different issue. That's a total. So I can't listen to the baffle gab that comes out of those Ernie and Bert.
Me neither.
But last year, Ernie and Bert got up and they said it was all on them. They take full responsibility.
Yeah.
Wait now. This year, Ernie and Bert got up and said it was all on them. They have to be better. They take full responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So for 2 straight years, you've told us you're incompetent, yet you get to keep your position.
Yeah.
I think the right thing would for Shapiro to fall on the sword and say, for the interest of baseball in this country, I am quitting.
Yeah.
So they could bring in some new
I agree.
faces and new vision, but I digress.
Well, last year's was more entertaining because last year we got Ernie and Bert and I don't know which ones we're talking about, which one's Ross Atkins, but
Bert would be Shapiro.
Bert seems like Shapiro. So Ernie got up and said that, because last year was after the whole Barrios thing. And Ernie got up and said, I know nothing about it. And then a couple of days later, Bert got up and said, yeah, I knew about it.
Yeah, the president knew, the
So
GM
the boss
didn't
knew,
know.
but you didn't know.
Everyone on the team knew, everyone in the media knew, all the fans knew watching the game, but Ross Atkins did not know they were going to pull Barrios out after 4 innings in a playoff game when he was rolling at that point. But let's not get upset. Let's keep this positive.
We can't, man. I'm
Okay?
sorry.
I'm going to keep this positive. So you have how many tweets over there?
5.
Oh my, okay, we better get going.
Yeah.
Drum roll or no drum roll?
That's drum roll.
Okay. Loves hitting the buttons, my son.
Yeah.
Tweet number 1.
When Ross Atkins arrived 9 years ago, he said he wanted to create a pipeline of MLB talent and bring a championship back to Canada. He's had 9 years and his pipeline has produced one quality MLB player, Bo, and we aren't even close to a championship. We are being gaslit.
So he wanted to bring a pipeline of what?
MLB talent.
Didn't happen. That's the button.
That was the button you were wanting for. Okay.
But I got the capital I and the L confused.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Not good with me alphabets. Anyway,
Yeah.
I can't say anything more than, yes, I'm not totally sure. What does gaslit mean?
I'm not sure either.
I always hear
I've
that.
heard it, but
that and ghosting. I always have ghosting wrong. But gaslit and ghosting.
Ghosting, from what I understand, is when like somebody texts you and then you see that they read it, but they don't text you back.
Gaslit is like they lied to you to get your hopes up, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they tell you something's going to happen,
Yeah,
and then they purposely don't do it or something.
I agree. Everything Ross said he wanted to bring 9 years ago, I might add,
Yeah.
has not happened. But Mr. Shapiro, in evaluating whether or not they should replace the GM, doesn't feel there's anything better options out there.
No, he doesn't think
Doesn't feel there's any better options out there to replace the GM. You would be a better option than Ross Atkins.
I would be a
GM.
better option than Ross Atkins as GM. You're right.
So that was tweet number 1.
It is
We are in
indeed.
full agreement.
Do you want the quote, by the way?
Oh, no, I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
So quote tweet number 2.
Tweet number 2.
Wait, no, I almost hit the wrong one again. We don't want drum roll, do we?
No.
We want yes,
Yes,
do.
we do. We want
Okay.
drum roll.
I'm all confused.
So am I.
Still half asleep, actually.
Why did I stop being a Blue Jays fan? Because Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins shouldn't be running a high school baseball team, let alone an MLB franchise. Vladdy would be smart to sign somewhere else and not with this franchise.
I'm not feeling a whole lot of positivity.
No.
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 Are there any good ones? Any positive ones?
No.
Or for the future?
No.
Where we might take this team?
Nope.
Okay. I don't know if I'd let them run a high school team.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Oh, he said they shouldn't. They're
He
not even
said,
qualified.
yeah, what
for
he
that.
said was they shouldn't be running a high school baseball team, let alone an MLB franchise.
They've been horrific. That's all I can tell you.
And the
They've
part
been-
about the end lining there about Vladdy should be signed somewhere else, he actually probably will, more than likely. I think the more I think about it.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, they took Vladdy to arbitration last year, and Vladdy won. And then he was asked at the media availability about whether or not Vladdy was a generational player.
Which he's not yet. Like he's not.
He's not, but he didn't. I don't know. He was in a tough spot to answer that one because there are negotiations that are going to take place, and I don't think you want to come out and say the guy you're negotiating with is a generational player because then that guy's going to say, "Well, pay me then."
Yeah.
Right? So
But then the other
I'm not getting a warm and fuzzy on Vladdy sticking around. I got to say.
hearing that you're not a generational player might just be like, well, yeah, well then go
He's
away
not a
then.
generational player. He's not even close
But
to a
if he thinks
generational
he
player
is,
at this point.
But if he thinks he is,
Well,
he'd
he
be
thinks
like,
he's the best in the world.
he does in his mind. He is. Yeah.
So tweet number 3.
Twa. Ross Atkins is the 6th longest serving GM at MLB. The other 5 have all won a playoff series in the last 5 seasons. Yes, even the Athletics' David Forst, who is the GM of the Athletics, he's even won one before.
Yeah. I don't have anything to argue with here. I agree with everything.
Yeah?
I just think we're in such bad shape, and there's no vision for the future of how to fix this or build this. Do you know the Blue Jays scored 671 runs this year?
I read that, yeah.
Not since 1997
I read
have
that
they
part of
had
it, yeah.
that low of a run producing year.
Yeah.
That's 27 years ago. We had a run total that low. 27 years. And in 1997, the Blue Jays were completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Completely irrelevant. And we're going that way again. And here we go. There we go again. And it was Ross last year who said, we're going to be defense first.
Yeah.
Look what has happened. Do you have that quote
I do.
about the low-hanging fruit?
I do indeed.
Put that up and read that for me, will you?
So yeah, so Atkins says, I don't think it's as simple as adding a power bat. Power is low-hanging fruit to add. But then Shapiro adds on to that by saying, we need to be more thoughtful in how we produce runs.
Ross,
Yeah.
take the low-hanging fruit.
That's why it's
That's
there.
the first thing you grab is the low. That's why it's called low-hanging fruit.
Exactly.
Ross,
Exactly.
Ernie and Bert, to me, seem like they want to try to build something in a way no one else has ever thought of because they're so much smarter than everybody else. It's not as simple as adding home run power. Yes, it is.
It actually is. Look
The
at
Mets
the Yankees.
got into the playoffs.
Look at the Yankees.
Because Francisco Lindor hit a home run late in the game against the Braves. Gone into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso of the New York
Walk
Mets
off. He got the walk
hits a
off.
walk-off home run.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a walk-off.
It's a go-ahead 3-run
Yeah,
home
the
run.
go-ahead run. They eliminate who? The
Braves.
Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, the Brewers.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
In the playoffs, right?
Yeah, 'cause the Padres
Last
got the
night,
Braves, yeah.
the Dodgers are trailing 3-zip. Shohei Ohtani steps in.
Home run.
Boom. 3-run homer, tie game. The Dodgers go on. I know it's hard to accept, Ross, but home runs, and the purists in baseball hate this, home runs matter in Major League Baseball now. And if you're going to say, we're not just going to go out and try to sign a home run, why aren't you if they're available?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Instead, they spend all their time watching Moneyball with Brad Pitt
Yeah.
and trying to find a way to build a team that nobody else has thought about. How's that working for you, Ross and
Yeah.
Mark? How is it working for you?
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore. I've said all year, we need corner outfielders that can hit home runs. Right?
I love the part about the fact that he says it's low-hanging fruit. That's why it's there.
Yeah, take it. That's why you
why
pick
it's
the
there.
low-hanging fruit first and then see what you can do after
Exactly.
that. But back in 2015, when the Jays were good,
Yeah, they were good.
think about what they had in that lineup. You know what they had?
Oh, power.
Home run threats.
Power.
Everybody that came up just about could hit. You had Bautista, Donaldson. You had a catcher, Russell Martin, that could pop. How many walk-off home runs did Justin Smoke hit? Late
Oh, he
in
hit
games?
plenty.
Right? First baseman, power all through the lineup. They
Not to
were
mention
a
Edwin.
threat. They could be down 7-0 after 8 innings, and you wouldn't turn the TV off because you thought they could still put up a crooked number here and win this. And many times they did.
Not to mention Edwin.
Now we have a catcher in Alejandro Kirk, who the only way he's going to make it around all the bases is if the ball leaves the yard, right? We went out and got Varsho,
true.
who's a defense-first guy and can't hit.
Can't hit for anything.
We got a right fielder in George Springer, who has lost all of his power. We had Kiermaier out there, who might hit 2 home runs in a year going forward if he's lucky.
Well, he's in the playoffs now, too, with the Dodgers.
We have a second and third baseman. We don't even know who the second and third baseman are.
We should sign Bregman. That's
with
what I
no
think.
pop.
Yeah.
Take the low-hanging fruit. That's all I'm trying to say.
Take the low-hanging fruit.
So what are we up to? Number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Drum roll, please. There it is.
The fifth one is kind of a
It's
funny
not
one.
as simple as adding home run power. Just start with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Move on.
Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins have all the alibis. It was injuries. It was Shohei Ohtani.
Hold up. On the injury front,
Yeah.
they were like the least injured
I was just
team.
going to mention that, yeah.
Okay. I'll let you do it then. Keep going.
Yeah, so it was injuries. It was Shohei Ohtani. It was bad luck. It was the process. Nearly a decade's worth of blah blah without a single playoff win and a whole new baseball generation growing up thinking this is somehow normal.
It was poor management. I said early on, well, Shohei Ohtani was never coming here.
No.
But the Blue Jays believed themselves that they had Shohei and did not have another way after that.
Bassett even said that.
Yeah, he must have been watching our show.
Yeah.
They did not have a plan B, so now they're blaming Shohei. You think Shohei would have made a big difference? Well, what would they have had? Would they have had a 500 record maybe?
No, if it was just Shohei and then, I mean, let's say Shohei is there and Vladdy maybe produces a little more, then he would have been fine.
So
but
the question then, it's a little bit of a contradiction here because they're all about Shohei,
yeah,
who was only a designated hitter this year.
Yeah.
Didn't play in the field because he was recovering from injury.
Yeah.
What would Shohei have brought them?
Power.
But they don't want power.
But they don't, yeah.
They don't want to go for the low-hanging fruit, yet they were going to give him $600 gazillion to come to Toronto
Yeah.
as a power hitter.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make any
We're
sense.
not taking the low-hanging fruit, but we'll take Shohei.
The injury thing.
Least injured team
They
in
had
the
the
league.
least amount of injuries in the league, and
Yep.
Shapiro tried to blame it on injuries.
Every team that's in the playoffs now had more injuries to deal with.
The Braves had injuries. They were
Lost
struggling to make
more
the playoffs. They made
man
it.
games due to injury.
Yep.
But that's throw up what you can, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Absolute farce of a season, and someone needs to fall on the sword, not the assistant pitching coach.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, what is there to say? Like,
there's nothing more to say.
You can't say much about it. It's
Nothing more to say.
just, I think what they should
The
do.
sun ain't gonna shine today. I can tell you.
Do you know Ace would be a better general manager than?
I don't know why they
Atkins?
didn't fire Ace. That would have been a good move. Effective immediately. We are now looking for a new mascot. We blame injuries, not getting Shohei, and Ace's performance for our abysmal season. That might happen yet, right? Ace and Ace Jr.
Ace
fired.
and Ace Jr. gone.
Ernie and Bert will now be taking over.
Yeah. You see Atkins on the dugout just dancing at the 7th.
Idiots! Idiots!
Oh, I should also mention, by the way, at the media availability, Rosie of
Yeah, I
the
know.
Toronto Star,
Yeah.
she said that one of their players called it something I can't say on the show.
An S show.
Yes, an S show.
Yeah, and she quoted that.
She quoted that.
And then Mark tried to just say how classy she was.
Yeah.
But she was saying a direct quote that she heard from one of his
So
players.
that's Gosman, Bassett, and somebody else.
Yeah.
That's 3 top guys you got saying that they don't like this.
I think they're going to have a hard time attracting any talent to Toronto.
Yeah.
I do, because I think while Ernie and Bert are there,
But they asked Atkins about that.
yeah,
They asked Atkins about how confident he is people are going to come to Toronto. He said more confident than ever.
of course he has
He's
to say
very
that.
confident, yeah.
Meantime, he's probably up at night going, "Oh my God, what have I done? Oh my God, what have I done? I'm going to watch Moneyball again."
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's been.
It worked for the A's for a short period,
But then
and
the
they
thing
had
is-
no budget, right?
but then the thing
this
was-
is a team with a top 10 payroll.
Yeah.
the Blue Jays. The A's had no budget, no payroll.
Yeah, but most of it goes to George Springer, who's just like
So
a
back in
baseball
the
right
day,
now.
Billy Beane had to figure out a way to win baseball games with no
Yeah.
money. You've got I almost said a bad word there, buttload of cash, and you can't build a roster that can get. You can't even finish 500.
they were well under 500.
14 games under 500.
Yeah.
All right, we got the last one coming.
Last one. This one's just kind of a funny one.
Numero 5. This is kind of a funny
This
one.
can be classified as kind of
Is
positive
this
because
going
it's
to put
funny.
me in a happy mood then, leaving the show?
It's kind of a funny one.
All right, let's hear it.
You guys got to stop being so hard on Ross Atkins. He probably just heard "OK Blue Jays" and took it literally.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Yep. You got a diamond, you got 9 men,
Yeah.
you got a hat and a bat. That's not all. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We got everything we need here now. We got 9 people playing. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
We need some home run hitters.
Yeah.
I know, like I said, baseball purists don't like that it's gone that way,
Yeah.
but power rules the day in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no better example of that than the Yankees. I mean, look at the Yankees, and they're literally called the Bronx Bombers. That's what they do.
How many games over a 162 game season get turned around at some point in that game because someone hits a bomb?
Yeah.
I would say a huge majority of them.
Yeah.
Last night, the Dodgers were doing nothing, trailing 3-0 to the Padres. Shohei steps in. Did you see his epic bat flip too?
I did not see it.
I wonder if they're going to throw at him and then later next season when he slides into second base, are they
That was great.
going to punch him in the face?
that was it's a throwback.
Because it was a bat flip for the ages last night.
His sunglasses
But anyway,
fell off his face, by the way, when that happened.
He hits a 3-run dinger. Game's tied, and the Dodgers go on to win. Power matters, man.
Well, let me ask you this then. Next season with the Blue Jays, if this team is, as bad as it was this year, probably gonna be worse, like, let's be honest, will attendance drop? Will attendance drop enough that Rogers sees it and fires everybody? Will it drop enough that Ed Rogers is like, we got to do something here?
Yes, if the team is like it is now and people don't think there's enough reason to be excited, they'll get a few full houses early in the season because they always do for opening weekend.
But we said this year the attendance was going to drop, and it didn't drop that much. Like every night it was 35,000 people in the building.
It dropped a little, and I think a lot of people, it's like Bob McCowan says, the Blue Jays are like a tourist destination for a lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
So people last year made their plans to go see the Blue Jays during their summer vacation.
Yeah.
There will be less people doing that this year based on this season.
Yeah.
Why am I going to spend all that money to go watch that crap?
Yeah.
Right? When I could go somewhere else and do something else.
Exactly.
It will depend on who they sign in the off season and what kind of start they get off to.
Yeah.
Vladdy, for me, is not a compelling enough reason to go watch the Blue Jays.
No.
Especially when games matter.
Yeah.
Because Vladdy doesn't hit like Vladdy hit when the game stopped mattering. But I'm sick of saying that.
Yeah, I think we've run that into the ground.
So that's all the tweets.
It is indeed.
That's good. So anything else you want to say today?
No.
That's good. All right. Well, let's start the outro.
All right.
Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Another turning point, fork in the road.
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you for listening and watching this episode of 10 Minutes with Andrew. Find us on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment. We'll be back in the middle of the week with Would You Rather.
All right. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications to be notified when we upload new content. You can also connect with us at andrewchansey.com.